Okay then. That's good. Yeah, we're just going to run a few tests. See, this is the first time I've actually done this before. Have to see. Just got a friend of mine. Just going to test it, make sure everything is working on his end. Then we'll get right to the show. Turn the brightness up a bit. Okay, let's see here. Alright, we're just going to run a few little tests and then we'll begin. Unfortunately, streaming uses a lot of bandwidth, so it's going to be a bit slow. Never done this before. Okay. Test. Right.
There you go. What's happening?
Yeah, good man.
That's good.
I don't know how you've gotten on here, man, but this is meant to be a live stream for the public.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Want to help us test out?
Yeah, well, it says live.
Bro, well, somehow you've joined into it, eh?
Yeah, well, I you sent me the link.
Fair enough. We're trying to see if we can get it to just a general public to watch like it's on YouTube, you know?
I don't know.
Still playing around with it. Sorry?
If you send it to people, keep right at the door.
We'll see. Do you want to... I've got a crazy idea. Since you're in the stream, you want to join us.
Was that sorry?
You want to join us in the stream?
Might as well.
Yeah, if I... Well, if you want to, but we're going to discuss Windows 10 and show it off to the world.
That's all right. Yeah. I'm just. You there? Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
Still see the video.
Here we go. We've got Michael Wade who's joined in.
Ah, okay. How you going?
Looks like his mic is turned off.
Oh, okay.
Wonder if he can hear us. We'll see. Yeah? Michael, if you can hear us, you should turn either your mic or camera on, man. Say hello to everyone. Oh, we scared him off.
He's either having problems, doesn't
Sorry?
like you.
Oh, well, who cares?
It was strange. At the bottom, it launched the camera, but it came up with the bottom feed.
Let's see. YouTube page. Just give me a second here. I'm going to try something.
Hey, you know what? Also, volume.
Oh, yes. It's all good. I found it, man.
Okay.
Alright, there's a YouTube link. I'll post it up in the Black Fox, man. I'm just going to discuss Windows 10.
Yep.
And, yeah, feel free to have your input on it as well.
Oh, okay.
The reason I've got my camera on is I want to screen share as well.
Oh, okay.
This little conversation will be on YouTube later tonight anyway.
Ah, alright.
So, yeah, make sure you behave, mister.
Righto.
Okay, then. Let's do it. I'm going to post a link up and, yeah, we'll have some fun.
Hey, discussion for you. 360 cameras. There's coming out. 360 videos on YouTube.
Yeah, I've been watching a couple of those 360 videos, eh?
Yeah, they're very.
There was one that was in a fighter jet before, actually, in a formation. And I think that was honestly pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Huh?
No, but it's thing, though. Technology is everything. You know, like, can you imagine walking with this camera that's pointed at anyone?
Mm.
You just, and it's
Okay, we'll put this up on the Black Fox and see what people say. All right. Comment, questions, and requests below. I'm also just going to post it on my Facebook as well.
yeah, you might. But we need to really put more content.
Oh, just doing it for the hell of it.
If you look at podcast, I'll pop over.
By the way, I'm tagging you in this too because you've joined the Hangouts anyway.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know?
Yeah, as I said, security. Yeah. I'm passing the big end. I'm
Okay then, here we are. All right, let's start. It looks like we've already got one viewer online, so that's good.
cool.
Yeah, I don't know if it's you or someone else, but
I assume
yeah.
it's probably. I assume it's me.
Well, we'll find out. We'll just see if anyone has any comments, requests, questions, or anything relating to Windows 10. Because I promised myself I'd test it for a week and see how it goes. And well, so far it's not too bad actually.
Yeah. Also, have you ever heard of listening to security podcast? It's business. Right. Have you ever heard of this program? Or Google Chrome? Now, what it does basically stop the trackers. Now,
Sorry, man. I've got to say that your connection is really bad. Might be a good idea just to have your camera off just for a couple of minutes.
I think it's
You know, I can actually do this for 8 hours straight if I wanted to, eh?
okay.
I'm gonna see if well, it says one viewer, but it doesn't specify who or what. But then again, you've joined in too. You know, but I think I sent you the link to actually join the Hangout, not to watch. It's the first time I've ever broadcasted to the world, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Join.
Sorry?
Yeah, Minecraft, Remake, I don't know.
All goods, we'll see, but okay, we've actually got 2 viewers now, so why don't we get started, eh?
Well,
Well, I'm pretty sure everyone knows who I am. I'm His Holiness Robert Lewis.
and he smells like
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screen share now. Okay, let's see. Right. So can you see this? Can you see my desktop on your end, Kirk?
I can say it, yes.
Yeah, good. Well, so far it's a fresh installed, only the most basic programs on it.
Now,
Yeah. Start menu's definitely changed. But I was tinkering around with it before.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I did, but I accidentally set it so it's full screen, and oh shit, you're pulling up on my freaking driveway.
Yeah.
Good on you.
No, I'm on your lawn.
Yeah, whatever. Well, if you want to do us a favor, just shut down your Hangouts, man, and just come join us here, eh? Got a spare couch for you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember the whole start menu itself has changed. It's a hell of a lot different than Windows 8.1. You know, and I will admit I actually love Windows 8.1, but it's becoming a pain in the ass. I don't know what I've freaking done here, actually. Let's see here. Desktop. How you going, man?
Yeah, good mate.
All right, we're streaming to the world.
Oh, did you like my photo that I sent you on your phone?
On my phone.
I think so. Well, no, it might have been through Hangouts.
My phone is fucked.
It might have been through Hangouts. I don't know.
True. Now I'm just trying to remember here because I'm still streaming now. All right. One thing that pisses me off is the start menu, right? I don't know what I've done to it, but I've completely buggered it up, you know. So, but it's a hell of a lot different, you know.
What's that? Oh, yeah, that's all good. I was like, bit of park there, that way I don't have to move it.
The cat's still in the room, man. Do you want me to get that?
No, I think it's a cheap Bluetooth device.
What about the Bluetooth?
The cheap $6 Bluetooth for the car.
Is that what you're running it through?
Yeah.
Okay, you start full screen. All right. We'll turn the camera back on. Our friend Hugh Kirk has joined us. I don't know, there's not much light in here. You want to take that just for a second?
How you going, everyone? Oh, no, someone's left.
Oh.
All on lonesome.
Well, we've still got one viewer there. We'll just turn.
Yeah, I think they're more interested in the Windows 10.
All right, then. Well, if they want Windows 10, that's what they're going to get. Yeah. So why not? All right. It's a pain in the ass, really, this fucking thing.
I can just use the seat.
Well, that seat's a bit dangerous, but so what we're going to do is we'll screen share right again. Best best feature. All right, so I'm going to show you guys the desktop again. All right, before we start in the settings and personalization, make sure that is off because it's a pain in the ass. Okay, and here we are. Good old Windows 10. You know, and we're lucky to have the bloody start menu back again. But I've always been a bit confused with the whole start menu. Like, one thing that is missing in the whole thing is it shows you just your basic programs are most commonly used and all that. All right. But it's also got a search function here, which is a bit of a pain in the ass to use. You know, so you just start typing, say, you know, Notepad, for example. You know, but originally when you install it, all right, I've always been different and had the taskbar at the top. But if you put it down to the bottom, okay, put it down to the bottom and make it larger. Right, it comes with this search bar here, which is bloody great sometimes, you know, but it's also a pain in the ass. I've always preferred the taskbar right up the top, you know. So tell me, is there anything you're curious to try out?
No, not really.
Not really?
Not really.
No.
Here's something that you know, I found quite interesting. I'm listening to these podcasts. Currently, I'm listening to this thing called Defense Podcast.
Oh, we should put the link up to that a bit later, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's a good show. See you next week.
Well,
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Springer.com, level beyond the shadow of a doubt. And so you can estimate the test.
all good. I'll show you something very strange. All right. It's always going to do that indefinite bloody Windows thing when you cast your own screen. But strangely enough, I've redesigned it. So on the start menu, you've got all your settings here. All right. And this is just a bit of everything, you know. But it's sort of got the same sort of feel as 8.1, you know, like obviously I'm broadcasting my screen to my TV in front of me, just mirrored, but it's also got all these weird features that I honestly don't know if I would use, you know. And strangely enough, it's got this thing called tablet mode. I've never actually used it before, but well, we're both Linux users and we're both use GNOME, haven't we? Yeah. You know, so I've got an idea. All right. Inside, I believe, Wi-Fi settings. No, not Wi-Fi. Let's see here. Notifications. Quite interesting. It's sort of like the menu you pull back from the top bar on Android. You've got all these different little
Toggles.
Yeah, like hardware toggles. I'm gonna have a crack.
The software.
Yeah, software, hardware toggles. You know,
Hardware is
hardware, Bluetooth, man, location. You know, although this.
Yeah, well, it controls hardware.
Yeah, true.
But they are soft buttons.
I'm curious. What we're going to do is we're going to test out tablet mode and see what this does. All right. Let's expand. All right. So tablet mode apparently makes the screen more touch friendly. Now this isn't a touch screen what I'm using, but I'm curious to see how it works. You know? It's basically like the full screen start menu. A bit of a pain in the ass, to be honest, but it would be interesting to use on a tablet or a touch screen, you know. Microsoft Edge. All right. That's the new browser from Microsoft. And here we are. We're full screen too. Not quite. But Microsoft Edge, I'm assuming that's what Project Spartan was when Windows 10 was in the alpha and beta stages.
Probably.
You know? Somewhere deep in the files, there's actually the old school Internet Explorer. If I remember correctly, it would be Internet Explorer 11, I think. I'm not too sure, actually. But they've completely redesigned it. Like,
Oh, well, they've needed to do that for a while.
I'm curious. I've never actually used this before, but how about, I think we type in here Google. All right. We'll just go into Google. We'll see how this new browser fares on, because whenever you're using a browser, you want to customize it a bit, you know? Yep. Edge add-ons. So, you know, like you've seen weird add-ons that I've got no script ad blocker, but here we go. I've got ad block Edge. This is for Firefox, yeah.
You probably find there's not as many add-ons at this point in time.
No, there wasn't much support for add-ons even on Internet Explorer back in the day.
No, but the problem with add-ons can be a good thing, but it also can be a bad thing as well.
Well, true.
Especially when it comes to security.
Well, take the ad blocker on Microsoft's Internet Explorer. It's not as simple as just one-click download and install. You actually had to download an executable file.
Oh, I mean those days.
Yeah, you actually had to download an executable file in Internet Explorer. And hey, this is pretty strange. Like, okay, that there is interesting. Yeah, kind of
Push it right up to the top.
push down to close. I think you go down. It was
Yeah,
like
you do.
it was like Windows.
Yeah, but I mean, if you wanted to open up the whole thing, you push up.
You know what? I'm going to turn this stupid tablet mode thing off. You know, ridiculous. All right, we'll chuck the camera back on. You know, and well, you know, I personally use Firefox. You know, looks great, runs well. I even tested out the alpha of it nightly on here. You know, obviously filled with a few strange bugs, but what can I say, man? It's a good browser, even in an alpha state, man.
Well, I've started to. I've used Google Chrome for a while.
Yeah.
One of the benefits that I like about Google Chrome is obviously because I'm an Android user. The fact that I sign into Google, all my tabs are there, all my bookmarks are there, all my everything's there. Everything's pretty much already logged in. More convenient, say.
Yeah.
But it's handy. It's handy just having it there. Don't have to worry about it. Boom.
Log into the browser and
Yep.
syncs all the data from like your phone and your other computers, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Pretty much.
it is good. I will admit that.
And even with tweaks and speed and all that, it's it's gotten better over the years. Like it is a resource hungry browser, but it justifies it in the speed area.
True. Like, you know, we've probably all seen the memes online about, you know, Google Chrome being the good old fashioned RAM killer, you know, but I've used it. It is a good browser, but you do need a pretty good, you know, like obviously a bit of RAM and decent processor to actually use it.
Yeah, but
You know,
even basics, it will run it fine, but
Yeah.
it's just like
Well, even the Chromium browser was okay on Linux back
Oh,
in the
yeah.
day. Yeah.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Why not? So yeah, I'm just seeing if anyone's posted any questions or requests. It's only just you, pretty much.
Yeah.
The good thing about this is I can see who's actually seen the posts on the group. But, well, who knows? Well, I've got 8 hours.
Oh, God.
Why not? You know, I'll put the session up on. It's recording to YouTube, so why not? It's the first time I've actually used Hangouts for this reason. You know? But we've still got one dedicated viewer, so that's good. Unless you've left your bloody phone on.
No, that's not me.
Nah, I was wondering if that one viewer can see or hear us. Let me know on my Facebook what you think so far. And don't forget and ask any questions about Windows 10, make any requests, and no, I will not delete System 32.
Yeah, you will.
Well, you never know. All right, so we'll start with the screen share again. Yeah. Tell me something, Kirk. Have you personally used Windows 10?
Not really. I haven't really had much interest in it.
No. Well, strangely enough, they say that Windows 10 was free, but what I'm actually running a pirated version of it right now. You know, like there was an uploader on, I think it was Kick-Ass Torrents, that actually posted a clean ISO of it plus a crack as well. The crack has worked perfectly. Now, I know that you're not a big fan of piracy itself, but Microsoft did say it was free, and I honestly would have downloaded it legally if I didn't screw up the partitioning of my laptop just before, you know, because I tried dual booting Linux Mint and Windows 8.1 together, and it didn't work out so good too. But one thing I want to check out is the Windows Store. I've never actually used it before, but it's been here since Windows 8.1. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine who said he installed Windows 10. I'm sure it was like a technical preview of Windows 10. And I had to have a laugh at a comment that he made. He said that they've taken out a lot of things out of Windows 10, including a calculator. Like a calculator, like every computer system has a calculator, man. You know,
Oh, did you just install one, did you?
I personally have never looked for one, but
Go up. You've got.
look, there's even an app for eBay. You know what? Just I've never actually used the Windows Store. All right, it'll probably be like iTunes and require a Microsoft account, and I'll just see. Yeah. See, I don't know if I fully remember the password or anything for it, but I'm only going to have one attempt at it, you know? So, email or phone. Okay, well, someone's going to see my email address on here. Well, I don't care really anymore. All right, then. Let's see. Email password. All right, then. I'll do that later, actually. You know? But I've never seen. I'm going to see if old mate's theory is true about the missing calculator in Windows 10. I don't believe him. Calculator, trusted Windows Store app. Oh wait, there is a calculator on here. It must have been in one of the early versions of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You would have found that a lot of people would have gone, what the hell? They're like, oh, yeah, we're going to put a calculator back into it.
Man, they used to have a freaking calculator on Windows 3.11. You know? Like that was the funniest comment I've ever freaking seen or heard from someone. Operating system without a calculator. But then again, it was in the early stages. But you'd think, being Windows, they'd put a calculator in there and at least fucking Minesweeper.
Oh, man. Minesweeper.
This is how bad I am, man. I've never figured out how to play Minesweeper properly.
Oh.
You know?
Are you serious?
I
Are you
think
serious?
I think I cracked it once when I was younger, but
Mind you, it's a random game.
it is.
You can win, you can lose. You know?
It's like it's a game of chance, pretty much.
Yes.
You're just clicking random things on a grid, you know, and hope that you don't hit an actual mine. You know, I don't know.
Well, the old people get frustrated because they can't find solitaire.
But you know that one of the greatest things that Microsoft has ever brought out, just in those little games, is the solitaire. You know, once you sort it out, you can see all the cards go down the screen. So, well, I just got to say, that was good for passing time. And how about Windows XP with a pinball? You know, like you couldn't go wrong with pinball, could you? You know,
There's your Robbie.
yeah, true. Well, let's see. I've never actually gone through all of these apps. You know, like there's one thing that pisses me off. I think I've got Skype installed. Maybe, maybe not. But it has this app to say get Skype. No, wait, I don't. Okay. But you know something. Honestly, it looks nice, but I honestly freaking hate the start menu on Windows 10. I really freaking hate it, you know, because it doesn't really show everything. But I've got Windows accessories. I'm seeing if there we go. Look at that. Accessories, Internet Explorer. Huh. You know, how sad is that? That's sitting there. What the hell are you doing? So can you see it all right on your phone?
Yep. I've muted my mic.
Your mic? Yeah. You know. So how's it look on the Android?
Oh, not too bad.
Not too bad at all. Yeah?
I've muted my mic.
Oh, I see. You've joined the Hangouts, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yes. Kirk here is a big fan of Hangouts and likes screwing with everything. You know? What are you doing now? Oh, we're not here to screen share you. What the hell are you doing, man? We know he's a Kiwi because he's got 2 bloody clocks on his goddamn desktop. You are, aren't you?
That's right.
And let me guess, you're scabbing my Wi-Fi too.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Typical Kiwi. But screen share again. That's it. A bit of a delay to it, isn't there?
Let's see what
Flash player. One thing that pisses me off so much. Honestly, I don't see why people complain about it. Because you don't really need it.
No.
You know? Like I've never tried out a
Oh,
couple
yeah. And this is actually quite funny. To do with
I think you can turn that volume down.
no, turn it down as much as I can. Quite literally. Look. Okay. I'll go down even further. Look. Look. Can't do it down any further.
Yeah, that's probably going to interfere with it, man, because it's feedback.
Nah, I can't turn it down. I'll hand you one up.
Oh, you're sitting right next to me, man. But now we've got a calculator. But I want to see if they've actually put any games into it, like
Yeah.
let's see, Solitaire, Microsoft Solitaire collection. They haven't even put Solitaire in it. I don't think so. Have a look. Like, come on, man. Oh, we'll see here. Might be doing something.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Whilst that's loading, when I was listening to Defensive Security,
Mhm.
it was talking about the vulnerability of
Please.
Java.
Be sure to sign in using Microsoft accounts, access cloud save data. So we have to save our Solitaire game on the cloud.
Pretty much.
Like
That's funny.
I've actually got a couple of old programs from like that's I don't know. Honestly, I've got to sort out that Microsoft account.
Players again.
Yeah, play as a guest. Let's see. Where's the actual Solitaire? What's it
Yeah.
called?
Anyway,
That. There we go.
with what one of the head security ladies of Oracle, which owns Java,
Mhm.
was basically saying, "Oh, please do not report the bugs. Please do not reverse engineer our code. You're not allowed to."
Yeah.
And just full on raging online, and that she will not credit anyone that gives in reports,
Fair enough.
and they'll be basically get sent a certain type of letter.
Okay.
So if you search up, I don't know, Oracle Head Security, I think it was Mary someone.
Mhm. Well, you know, it comes under proprietary software, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
You know,
The funny thing about it is,
it's like there's going to be someone out there that is going to have a crack at reverse engineering something.
but the thing is, if you were secure, focus on security, you want to make sure that you are protected. So of course you've got to check, make sure that everything's working okay.
Okay, well, I just whacked in the wrong password for my Microsoft account. That there I'm going to have to change.
Everyone sees your identity.
Yeah.
You're screwed now.
No, not really. I'm not screencasting. So it's just on the camera, you know.
You're screwed.
Indicated well, which is good, you know. So once we'll I'll just quickly fix that up. What I want to have to do is have a look at the Microsoft Store. Hopefully they don't con me into getting a legitimate copy of Windows 10. Okay. So now that I've got my password all sorted. So what I want to do is, I've never actually done this before. I'll actually properly explore the Windows Store, you know, which I honestly don't know why I've actually done that, because for Windows software, you just look up on Google, you know. Simple, you know. I bet I've never used it, but I bet you some of these apps are cross-compatible with the Microsoft phone. Right, so I want to start here, Shazam. Okay. I don't know if it would work using. Just confirm on screen sharing. Yep. I don't know if it'll work while I'm broadcasting because the microphone is in use. All right, but I was wondering, do you think you can help us test it? Yeah.
What's that?
Do you think you could help us test this?
Yeah, I can play some random song.
All right, we'll see how it goes actually, because I've never used anything from here.
Okay, well, I'll just do a random song. Okay,
Well, not yet.
just say when you've installed it.
Hmm.
But
Let's see here. All apps. See, I've never used it, so it's a bit strange. But okay, working. Let's see, it wanted some account information. It's starting to download. Probably won't be too fast. Acquiring license. I don't know if this is actually going to work in the streaming. Oh no, it's getting there slowly.
it will work, but it won't be as fast.
True. That's the thing about Australia, we don't have the most perfect internet, and I'm on the Wi-Fi too.
Yeah, but really, the difference is not really that much. Well, you're on a 5 gigahertz network.
5 gigahertz as always, yeah.
Well, you're not really going to have much of a difference whether you're on Ethernet or wireless.
Not,
But the 5 gigahertz.
not true, man. I've actually tested it.
Oh yeah, you'll get more of a speed increase on Ethernet always because it's cable.
Well, I actually run a little test. Before, I was watching a movie on Putlocker, which you can stream movies. Now, a website like that is not going to have the most perfect servers in the world, but while I was on the Wi-Fi, it was lagging even at the lowest resolution.
Yeah, but it also depends on what sort of hardware you've got and all sorts of.
Well,
shit.
it didn't lag on the Ethernet.
No, of course it wouldn't. It's no.
Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Let's see. Try not to play something horrible like Justin Bieber.
Okay, Google. Play music.
Sure.
Like, okay, there you go. So pick that up. That's the thing about Android is you can't do that.
You can.
Wait, what? You can't actually use the mic for 2 apps at the same time, I've noticed. Not very
Right.
well. But it picked it up correctly, Time of the Season by the Zombies. Yeah? There's an old classic, eh? Huh. Yeah? Bloody great. While I'm here, I'm a bit OCD. I've got to get rid of this. You know?
Well, I'm going to head off. I'm going to steal. You got some moo juice,
Oh,
and I'll join the conversation when I get home. You should.
what?
You should install Age of Empires.
I have
Oh,
on that computer.
yeah, try to do it on this one as well.
Not
No.
that's
no,
like
no.
2 gig over the Wi-Fi, man.
Why not? It'll be alright.
Not when I'm running this. No, there's no way I could download that. It
No.
would probably cut out the stream, man.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, I wouldn't want to risk it.
Maybe.
You know.
You have fun with your streaming thing and I'll log back in when I'm at home.
If you want to, but yeah, you and your crappy Wi-Fi.
Oh, I'll still be right.
Yeah.
Streaming. Probably is shit from Wi-Fi, but I mean internet in general. But
Well, you get that. That's a good thing about the mainland, isn't it? We get fucking good internet over here. Yeah, fuck you too. Take care of yourself, man. Right. Well, everybody, that's Kirk, my best friend and the weirdest person I know. Good on him. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly jump onto Facebook and see if he's got any requests for me. Because I'd be eager to know what you can do with this thing. You know, I'm yet to discover a few weird hidden features of this. And I think we have figured out who our secret viewer is. Yeah. It doesn't say it officially, but we do know that Derek is most likely watching us right now. And yet Kirk is playing his weird music again. Right. So on Hangouts here, we've actually got a Q&A app. So I'm going to open that up and just see. Oh, this feature is disabled. Oh, that's bloody great, isn't it? I want to see. I've not used Hangouts much, but I thoroughly enjoy it. Unfortunately, it doesn't want to. Yeah, it doesn't want to work for us today. That's all right. Let's see, chat. Okay. We have actually got a group chat here on the side. So, if it's working on your end, feel free to just bash a message on there or on Facebook. You know, I'll keep monitoring it. And yeah, we'll go for the next couple of hours if you want. Why not? Yeah, sorry how it flickers like that. Another thing here, task view. All right, new desktop. This is interesting. I've never used this before, but this is like the virtual desktops you get with GNOME. Like, let's open up something here. Now, I don't mean to badmouth Windows in any way, shape, or form, but Linux has been doing this for years, where particularly the GNOME interface, if you're not familiar with Linux, I'll try and make it as easy for you, but what we'll do is we'll open up a couple of programs here. All right. There we go. Okay, I'll just make this smaller. And yes, I am a big fan of the TV series Mr. Robot. But what I suggest that this is like a workspace switcher where you can add things to different desktops. Now, I'm going to try it out. On GNOME, you hit Control Alt and left and right. Oh, it hates me screen. Obviously, they didn't think about it too well, did they? So I'll close that desktop there, and yeah, so all open apps have now been cascaded in here. Unfortunately, I don't have any media to play in. I don't have anything to play in Windows VLC at the moment, but it's a hell of a lot better than Microsoft's media player. One thing that is missing, it was in Windows 7 Ultimate, I believe, was this thing called the Media Center. And it was great because you could plug a TV card into your computer through the USB and watch TV through the Media Center. You know? But unfortunately, they've left it out. It was a very good program to use back in the day. It was actually, there was a time when I didn't have a TV for a couple of months. However, I decided I wanted to watch TV on my computer anyway. So what I want to do is open up a new window. See, with any installation of Windows, you're not going to get Microsoft Office, but I want to showcase a nice little program for you to replace Microsoft Office. It's called LibreOffice. Now, they've just released LibreOffice 5.0. Now, when I first used it, when it was first released, I downloaded the 64-bit version of it, which kind of screwed up on me. However, I'm gonna have another crack at it again. And we'll see. Okay, before I proceed any further, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the HD down. Just turn off my screencaster for a second here. There we are. So what I'm going to do is, because this might cause problems, I'm going to deliberately turn my resolution down. All right, so it's not going to sound the greatest or look the greatest either. However, it's going to be needed because I'm going to have to download a fair bit of bandwidth here. Okay, sorry for that. All right, main installer x86-64. That's the 64-bit. You can even download torrents of it. Great. It's free. It's open source. Just use your favorite torrent program. Mine's currently uTorrent at the moment. I usually use something called Transmission on Linux. However, we don't have transmission. We don't have a port for transmission here, which is kind of a pain in the ass if you ask me. Good little program. So while we wait for that to download, I'll just turn that down. Very good little program to have. And whoops. So I'll just turn it back again. So I was wondering if anyone's watching here, just let me know how the connection's going, because I like to currently test as well. I like to test a few things, and this is a first for me, so don't expect any perfection whatsoever. Oh gosh, let's see here. Just take a quick intermission. Yeah, shameless self-post. All right then. Well, my internet's not too bad. However, it's not the best here in Australia. But what can you do, huh? Whoops. It's not too good, is it? Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly shut down my camera for a second, and we'll turn this into a podcast. There we go. So yeah, like testing out Windows 10. I haven't fully checked it out. It's even got its own map application too, which, strangely enough. So Windows 10, like it's a rip off of Google Maps, I'm assuming, but I won't show this currently right now, but it claims to know your location using, I don't know what it uses actually, but it kind of reminds me of the good old UV maps from Nokia. So we'll see here. We'll just zoom right in. And well, I have no idea how this works. There's no GPS receiver in my computer. But somehow Microsoft has been able to pinpoint accurately where my house is. It's kind of scary how it can do that. Like really scary how that is possible. It makes no sense whatsoever. But what can you do? There's been a lot of talk about the privacy issues relating to Windows 10, about the spying of it. Another thing that pisses me off is the updates. The updates on Windows 10 are automatic, and there's no way to actually turn them off. So, however, you can delay the updates on Windows 10 temporarily. It's I forgot what it's called. I've forgotten how to do it actually, but now some updates have caused problems. I constantly keep this computer up to date. You know, you never know what the updates might feature. Those security fixes, or there might be new features. But me personally, I have not discovered any problems with the running of the operating system at all. It works perfectly fine. You know, yes, I ran into a few hurdles before. Because it's a pirated version, you are going to expect some little hiccups. Like I had to restore my computer about 3 days ago when I was trying to install a crack for the registry, because although Windows 10 is marketed as being free, it still requires a legitimate Microsoft key, which I found a bit bizarre. And strangely enough, my computer, my laptop, does not actually have a registry key sticker on it, even though I did buy it brand new a few months ago. And, well, I will never know if a legitimate key from an installation of Windows 7 or Windows 8.1 would actually work for Windows 10. So if anyone has actually tried that and it's worked for him, please let me know. Because I honestly don't know the registry key of my computer, even though it was a legitimate version of Windows 8 that I had on here when I first got it. Now, I'm currently running a Lenovo G50. Okay, it's a budget laptop from, Lenovo, and recently I've gotten quite a liking to Lenovo, even though that the hardware on Lenovo is a bit of a pain in the ass. Like, first up, it used to have a secure boot function in the BIOS. It's called UEFI. I'm not 100% sure what that means, but it could only boot up Windows by default, which was a pain in the ass, to be honest. However, with a bit of tinkering, I was able to switch it back to Legacy, and that's what I'm running Windows 10 on now, is Legacy mode. But the strange thing about it is I tried dual booting Linux Mint a couple of days ago on here. Like, I've got a 500 gig hard drive, and I thought, yep, I've got the space. But when I booted the disk up live, it stated that there was no operating system on the computer, even though it did have Windows 10 on it. So one of the downsides to Windows 10, I don't know if it's like my partition setup or something. Oh, excuse me, sorry. But it appears that you cannot dual boot Linux with Windows 10 just yet. I don't know. I'm going to work on a fix for that. Very, very strange. So LibreOffice is just finished downloading. All right, I've posted about this before in the Black Fox project before. It's a great alternative to Windows Office, and it's a fully functional Office suite that is 100% compatible with Windows Office. Okay, you can get it on Windows, Macintosh, and Linux. I'm not sure about any other operating systems, but I'm pretty sure you might even be able to get it on Android, strangely enough. It is a must-have program. So I'll just quickly install it now. Alright, so I'm going to turn the bandwidth back up again. Alright, we'll turn our cameras back on. Unfortunately, our friend Kirk here has left, but he said he'll join us when he arrives back home. Don't expect any good quality stream from him because, well, Kirk currently lives in an area where the infrastructure and the networking is not too good. And I've personally used his network before, and I just cannot get it working properly. Pain in the ass, really. Okay, so currently in the background, I'm just installing LibreOffice now. One thing that I've done differently in the past couple of months is I currently have a desktop computer in the other room, and I've decked it out with all AMD software. And, well, I know this is a Windows 10 preview, but I've always had that constant argument between what's better, if it's AMD or Intel. Currently, this computer is running an Intel Pentium. Okay, it's not the most powerful thing in the world. you know, but it does the job, you know. Like, if I can run Windows 10 perfectly on it, like, do you need any extra power? No, you know. Like, I don't have any applications that I use commonly that require a lot of power, really, you know. Like, sure, the Hangouts, this Hangouts broadcast would probably be the most powerful thing I'm using right now. I use Hangouts basically to talk to my friend Kirk and also to prank call the Americans and Canadians. Well, if you've got a Google account, you can actually call phone numbers in the United States and Canada for free just using voice over IP. I would, however, recommend a dedicated microphone towards it. You know, I'm just using just a stock standard microphone in the laptop. You know, it's nothing special, but as long as you guys can hear me okay, that's all I care about. Before every broadcast, I always do tests to make sure that my hardware is running efficiently. And if it's not, well, screw them. So currently, we're still installing LibreOffice 5. I've been using open source software for about 2 years now. I've always had a preference towards it because, well, it's always going to be free, and you've always got a community of people who, if they know a bit of code or just volunteer to test out the beta and alpha builds of programs, they'll always provide feedback on programs, you know. Like, as I said, I was testing out the alpha version of Firefox, which is called Nightly. And they usually give you a few little tasks to perform. You know, I'm sure they've done them themselves, but everyone's got different hardware and slightly different operating system. So yeah, all right. Now we've successfully installed LibreOffice. I'll just quickly show you guys that now. All right. It's one of the, if you are messing around with Word documents, spreadsheets, or what's the other one? There's PowerPoint presentations, slideshows. I recommend downloading LibreOffice. I'll leave a link to it in the group, or you should be able to find it. It's a fully functional Office suite. You've got Writer, which is a knockoff of Microsoft Word, Calculator, which is your spreadsheets, and, you know, Excel, Presentation, which is slideshows, and then you've got drawing, and you've got a drawing and a math program and a base database. So, you know, everything here is compatible with Microsoft Word. I'll show you a quick demonstration. Hello world. So what we'll do now is we'll just quickly save that to the desktop. Okay, but remember, by default, it saves it in ODF text format. However, you can choose different formats. So just have a look here. Open, Office open. Let's have a look here. You can either save it as a rich text format, or here we go. If you want to have it compatible with people on Microsoft using Microsoft Office, I personally choose Microsoft Word 2007 or 97. All right, the recommended one would be here, and there we go. Okay, we'll just. It'll always confirm if you want to save it in a Microsoft Word format, because just by default that's how it works. And there we are. Very simple to use, but I urge everyone, I know it has been a pain in the ass. You know, I have personally tried to pirate Microsoft Office, but it's never worked for me, actually. It's a pain in the ass, really. Okay, I'll just turn this off here. And there we are. You know, some of the essentials, like you don't have to go with, you know, proprietary software all the time. You know, we have all heard of Mozilla's Firefox. You know, I'm assuming half the people watching this would use Firefox. You know, now Chrome is free, but it's not open source. Okay, but that's not really important. You know, we're not gonna. Well, I've personally had a hatred for you know, Internet Explorer, any just default web browser, fucking Microsoft. It's a pain in the ass. There's no support for add-ons. You know, it's not customizable. And the thing, like, come on. Even on shit computers, Microsoft's Internet Explorer or that stupid Edge thing is going to crash and burn. Simple. I fucking hate it. I really do. You know? And, well, whether you're using Windows or Linux, you know, we're all going to have Firefox installed. Okay, so we're just going to quickly check back to see if there's anyone here. All right. I should keep an extra tab open, to be honest. All right, let's have a look-ski here. Right. So I'm just going to quickly go through some of the different things we can get on here. I found it funny that we knew that someone was watching because when we Shazammed that song and ended up on someone's Facebook, I won't say who, but oh, that was great. You're all wondering what this thing is. It's just an electronic cigarette to help me quit smoking. Now, one thing I've noticed about Windows 10 by default, well, with any kind of Windows, is drivers. Okay, when I first started using this thing, I noticed that a lot of the default drivers were missing from it, which I found a bit odd, actually. Now, it was easy to download and install the drivers. Like, with most computer manufacturers on their website, that'll allow you to download a small program to identify your computer's hardware and give you a list of drivers and software to install by default. You know, it's not that hard, but I was surprised that Windows haven't stepped up their game like Linux and added a lot of the drivers for newer computers. Like this computer is only about a year old from the factory floor, and you would have assumed as a budget computer that a lot of people would be using it. Like, I honestly don't know how many people are using Lenovo G50s. I honestly, you know, it's not the most powerful machine out there. It's definitely far from a supercomputer. But I'm able to broadcast on it. I'm able to do my work with it, you know. It's just, you know, but I've found out that they've put a lot of crap into Windows that you don't need, but they've also taken out a lot of crap that you obviously don't, which is good. But they've neglected the drivers. Like with Linux, all the drivers are stored in the kernel. Now, if you ever have problems with your drivers, well, it's not recommended to do this, but I've always found a fix by simply updating the kernel. Okay, it's not that hard to do, really, on Linux, but on Windows, you've got to download all the drivers individually, which, to me, is a cross on my end, you know. That's one thing I'd have to give Windows a bad mark for, is drivers. You know, I had problems with my wireless. My display wasn't too good with two monitors. Like I've always used two monitors on a computer before. Like even on this broadcasting session, I've got it connected up to my TV with a HDMI cable, but before it wouldn't display properly. It would flicker and the picture would be out of whack. So, but another good thing about Windows is it is the best platform for gaming, and I've not tested many games on Windows 10, but the ones I have, they just work brilliantly. You know, you can always turn down your graphics on Windows to get better performance in gaming, and if you would like, I can show you guys how to do that now. Okay, a little trick a friend taught me. His name is Derek. So, Derek, if you're watching, we'll give you a shout out. So, thank you heaps for that. So, with Windows 7 it's from Windows Vista and higher. Everything here has got animations. You know, when you hover over the icons, when you click on certain things, especially this thing here, you know, like all types of the menu and all that will all use, you know, graphical power. Okay, so we'll go into control panel. Now, if I remember correctly, it is in system. Okay, go up to advanced system settings. Oh, before I proceed any further, here are the stats for my computer. Yeah, it's not much, you know. 2.16 gigahertz of an Intel Pentium, 4 gig of RAM, and a 64-bit operating system. Okay, although it says Windows is activated, it is pirated, so screw them. So, beforehand, open up System and Control Panel and go to Advanced System Settings. You'll see the first box here, Performance. Just click on Settings there. And, I've actually got it turned all the way down, which is good. Custom. So you can do automatic, which will disable some features, you know. If your computer's graphics aren't too good, you can adjust for best performance, which will make it look the best, or you can turn everything completely off. Okay, I usually have it off. Okay, so you just click apply. So bullet point, adjust for best performance and click apply. Okay, one thing I don't like about this, you probably won't be able to see it through the stream, but the title bars at the top have really pixelated text, but that can easily be fixed up. So just go back to settings again and smooth edges of screen fonts. I'd recommend that you tick that and just hit apply or OK. Okay, that has fixed that up nice, perfectly good. All right. There's all sorts of different little tweaks that you can do, but I think it was Windows 7 that I did that on there. It made the taskbar and all that look really ugly, you know, which was a pain in the ass, to be honest, you know. All right, so I'll just turn the screen share back off again. So, you know, whenever you're playing games, if your computer's performance is not too good. Like, I'm just using a laptop. I would recommend turning all that shit off. You know, it's unnecessary. That it won't look as pretty, but you're not really going to notice any of the animations and all that sort of stuff disappearing. So, well, another thing is I've never fully checked it out, but sorry about that. But performance-wise, Windows 10 is bloody great. Like, if I can, I'll just open up, I'll see how the resource meter's going. That's Task Manager. Okay, there we are. Performance-wise, so while streaming, right. So I'm not running anything else except for Firefox. That's what Hangouts is going through. But the performance of it is, well, it's averaging about 30%. You know, and I've got a Pentium processor, which you got to admit that is not bad actually. It's not bad at all. I'll quickly show you guys. Okay. So you can find this. To open this up, this is just your resource manager and the task manager. And Windows 10 has actually made a good improvement on this. It shows you a lot more data, you know, relating to system performance. It's like your heart rate monitor for your machine. But so far, it's only using a quarter of the processing power. And I would have expected it to be a little higher since I'm streaming my screen at the moment, but so far it is good. It is good. It feels a lot more lightweight, this operating system, as opposed to say Windows 7 or 8.1. Like I can just see from some of the features on Windows 10 that they've forked a few things from Windows 8 to Windows 10, particularly like the desktop environment. Except, you know, I am happy that they have, you know, gotten the start menu back, but they could have designed it a little better. You know, the start menu really went to shit after Windows 7. Really, Windows 7 and Windows XP had the most basic start menu, but it's something that everyone used. Like, imagine showing Windows 8 or Windows 10 to your grandmother, for example. Like, they wouldn't be able to work out how to use it, you know? So it's not the most user friendly. However, it works. It works for me. I'm sort of familiar with this. I'm sort of familiar with it, you know. I'm sort of familiar with it because I've tinkered around with different operating systems over the years, and well, what can I say? You know, you just get used to experimenting. It's just something that I wouldn't recommend Windows 10 for someone to teach a computer on. You know, if you're teaching a person to use a computer, I would recommend, say, you know, Windows 7. You know, probably one of the best operating systems there is by Microsoft. And I still personally use Windows 7 on my other computer. Like, the only thing is, and it's not running at the moment because earlier versions, well, all versions of Windows are susceptible to viruses. And although I've got a lot of pirated software, a lot of a lot of like the key generators, the cracks and all that, they can sometimes install on Windows what I call crapware, which is, you know, those programs that you don't want that'll slow your computer down. They're not technically viruses. They more like malware, you know, hidden. This is why some people, you have to sometimes read the terms and conditions when you download certain things. Like take uTorrent, for example. You know, you download the program, but they've also got like other programs in it, like bloody toolbars, you know, browser hijackers and shit like that in there. You know, you've got to look very carefully at where you're pressing accept, because you only want to press accept on the actual program that you want to install, not the shit that's included with it. Like I had 3 different browsers installed on there. I had my registry hijacked, you know, with this safesearch.com thing, you know, which completely blew it out of proportion and made the computer useless. Like I'm going to wipe the thing and probably put I don't know, maybe Linux Mint or something on it again, you know. Fuck. It's just viruses, okay? I always recommend having a virus program on your computer, okay? I would personally recommend AVG, okay? Like you can get a free edition of it that only scans for viruses. Like that's if you're not too technical and you just want it to run in the background. I wouldn't recommend AVG if you're like me that downloads a lot of pirated software, that a lot of the key generators and cracks can be picked up with the antivirus and screw with it. But you can always temporarily disable the antivirus. Another antivirus that I would recommend for cross-platform, like Windows, I think you can get a Linux version for it, and Android, is something called Bitdefender. I haven't used it for a while, but Bitdefender, it's one of the best antivirus programs you can have on Android. I've never really tested it fully on Windows, you know. But just as a backup, I've had a couple of people recommend to me Malwarebytes, which honestly is not too bad actually. It cleans up the shit in your registry too if you ever get that, you know. But me personally, I am pretty much lazy when it comes to viruses, but they are not that hard to remove. But once your computer's got so many of them, all right, it's sometimes easier just to reinstall the old operating system. Like I've got enough hard drives and all that to back up all the data there, and I always constantly make backups, you know, because I had a little bit of a scare with a broken down hard drive about 2 months ago. But just remember, kids, back up your data on a regular basis. Okay, we are all using mechanical drives, most of us, and they usually last about 5 years. But it depends on what the hard drive is used for. Like I use one hard drive for just my operating system and programs, whilst my other hard drive is just used for storage, like movies, music, games, that sort of stuff. You know, it's always good to have a backup, you know, and using a second hard drive for your personal data or pirated crap or whatever is recommended, because when you boot up your computer, if you've got more than one hard drive on there, it'll only power up the hard drive with your operating system on it. It'll only spin the hard drive. It'll only spin the hard drive it boots up from but you can always access your other drives at a later time. And when they're not in use, they spin down and they don't operate, thus increasing its lifespan. So, what I want to quickly do is just check on a few things. So I'll just quickly check on a few things at the moment. You can also find a lot of my work on my Google Plus account. Let's see here. Currently I have no requests, but that's all right. Currently got 2 viewers on here. I can suspect who they might be. Don't worry, you people are anonymous. I don't know you, you don't know me. Hopefully. Ha! All right. Okay, I want to check out a few of the settings. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you my screen again. I'm just going to do a little tinker again. Yeah, it's always a pain in the ass when I do that screen share thing where it flickers like that. But it's like pointing a camera at a screen, you know. It's just going to do that. Oh yeah, Windows Update. This is something I want to show you guys. It can be a pain in the ass. Okay, now. I don't even know why it's downloading updates. I really don't. But you can't actually disable it. Choose how updates are installed. Automatic and notify to schedule restart. Like what will happen is Windows will try and figure out when you're not using your computer and will quite literally restart by itself without asking permission. It'll restart your computer even if you're in the middle of something. It'll just it'll restart by itself. And my one, I'll just change that back. Keep everything running smoothly. We'll restart your device automatically when you're not using it. Updates won't. All right. There was something that I read before that it said the rough time that it'll restart. And that's like 3:30 in the morning. But what I'd recommend to do, if you're having problems with your updates, like they're getting downloaded too frequently and you want to use your computer, click this defer upgrades thing. Okay? Let's see. That doesn't want to work for me actually, but clicking that, what that does is well, I'll have a look here. It looks like it's opened up Firefox for me. Okay, well, I'll just shut that down. Close these tabs. I don't need Firefox currently at the moment, just to keep that tab open, just to keep Hangouts going. But deferring upgrades will basically prevent it from updating for about 2 or 3 months, I've been told. Just I'll put up some articles about that. Another thing that's built into Windows is this thing called Windows Defender. Now, I personally don't really use it. I don't even know why all this shit is on. But Windows Defender is just like the built-in antivirus, you know? Yeah. See, this is the thing. This is another thing I hate about Windows 10 is a lot of things you can't turn off, like the updates. And this is another one. Real-time protection. You can turn this off. Okay. Okay, now it's just given me a warning to say that the antivirus is turned off. I've only got well, Defender's built into my Windows 10, but I should install AVG or Bitdefender or something. You know, I don't want to currently because antiviruses can screw with your computer. But a lot of these things, I'll turn all this stuff off because you know, up to you if you want to send Microsoft your bloody technical data, but I personally don't. It uses up resources that you don't need. But I'll temporarily disable the antivirus Defender, and well, I've used Defender. It's okay. At least you know that you've got some protection out of the box from viruses. It's not the best in the world. Hey, Microsoft is not known for its antivirus programs. Hell, it's not even known for making the best operating system in the world. I honestly don't think that. I honestly don't think that Windows in itself is the best operating system, but it is fun to actually play around with. Now, before before I mentioned drivers, okay. One thing is you probably noticed that I can scroll without clicking the bar at the side. What I do is I put two fingers on my touchpad and drag it up and down to scroll. Okay? By default, and the most annoying feature is they don't have that driver in there. Okay, so if you're using a laptop, look up online for a Synaptics touchpad driver. Okay? Because you'll need it. Okay? So you just go into settings, devices, mouse, and touchpad. Okay, and you'll have this up here. Okay, it'll look a little bit different to you guys because you'll most likely be just using generic drivers. If you have Windows installed by default on a machine, okay, you should have your manufacturer's drivers in there. However, the settings are very basic. Okay, very basic indeed. You know, it's really designed. It's not really designed. Windows 10 is not really designed out of the box for laptop hardware, which I find quite surprising. But when you install drivers, you should get an extra option here. And these are Lenovo drivers. These are the Lenovo drivers that come with it. You know, you can do all sorts of different gestures. Like you can use your mouse to zoom in. You know, you can rotate. Like I don't do it because it can sometimes mess up on web pages. Like it'll zoom in on your web browser just by pinching, like you do on a smartphone. Okay, and there's all different things. So remember, every system is different. But I urge you to update your drivers, particularly for your mouse, because you'll have a lot of annoying problems, and it'll make going through pages a lot easier. Another thing is, you have to have an activated version of Windows to use this feature here, personalization, basically just to change your wallpapers and all that sort of shit, you know. Start menu, you know, some pretty cool features you can use on here. It's even got different themes, which I haven't actually tried this out. One of my friends, I don't know who it was able to download these wallpaper packs. Okay, that would play a slideshow of different photographs. As for the themes on your taskbar and your yeah, just as for the theme for your user interface, I don't know if you can change that just yet. You can with third-party software, but I would personally like to try it out. You know, there was one that I quite liked, which was a wallpaper pack with storms in it. I don't know where it is. It doesn't look like it's here. I think I used it on Windows 7. Let's have a look here. Art, photographic. Just, you know, I don't like the default. I don't really like the default wallpaper much for Windows, but it is nice. It's okay, I guess, you know. But you know, it's one of those features that you don't use, that not a lot of people know about. So this is, I want to show you guys what it is, and also it even changes your window colors too. We'll have a look. Places and landscapes. I'm going to try and have a look for where it was. Let's see here. Dark skies. That was the one. All right. This is probably personally one of my favorite themes to use. My favorite color is always going to be midnight blue, and midnight blue is one of my favorite colors, and this goes great with it. It really does. So we'll have to thank Ms. Tracy Hymans for this. So just within a few clicks, you can change your theme just like that. And another thing, where your clock is right here, okay, you can click just on the corner there, and boom, it'll bring you straight to your desktop. Now, obviously, I might need a bit of a tweaking to it, but that's not a problem. Yeah, very well. Stretch, there we go. Now, I've not used this in a while, but it should change over. But, you know, we've had that feature since Windows 7 on their website, where you can have a slideshow of different wallpapers. You know, and I'm surprised that a lot of people don't know about it, but you can, like, some of them are installed by default, and, well, you don't see many people using them, but that, you know, wallpaper slideshows can use up a bit of resources. You know, up to you personally if you want to use them or not. You know, doesn't bother me. But you know, it's something different. You know, there's a few little features here in Windows that a lot of people don't know of, you know, or have not tried out yet. Now, I don't fully remember how I got these. Well, I'm just on my desktop at the moment. I'll probably just have a quick look up on Google. But there's an interesting little thing that you should work out. Let's see, show. Okay, when you first start out, all right. When you make a fresh install of Windows, usually the only icon on your the only icon that's on your desktop is usually a recycle bin. But you know, I've had a couple of people ask me, how do I get the My Computer icon on the desktop? And there's also other things like, let's see here, personalization. All right, so I'm just gonna. What's going on here? Looks like Kirk has joined in too.
Yeah.
How you going, Kirk?
Yeah, good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you nice and clear.
Oh, that's good.
How are you, man?
Yeah, good. I've got a 3 monitor setup at the moment.
3 monitors.
Yep.
Huh. Very
Main-
nice.
The LG monitor and the laptop.
Well, that's only 2.
Well, it's 3 screens.
Have you got 2 LG monitors?
I've got the TV monitor.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're talking about that little monitor you had on your desk, didn't you? That little square thing, eh?
Yeah, and the TV.
Fair enough. You know, tell me something, man. We have never had a setup with multiple monitors of the same resolution, have we?
No, but oh well, it doesn't worry me.
Nah, it doesn't bother me either. You know, it's a pain in the ass sometimes.
Yeah,
You know?
it is. But oh well.
But I use my left monitor for watching videos and other sorts of media, and on my right one just scrolling through web pages. You know.
Can you see the whole screen?
Yes, I can actually. You've got. Yeah, it looks a bit strange. It looks like you're running Ubuntu as well.
I am.
So for anyone watching
Yes.
here, you should be able to see Kirk's screen as well. Well, 3 of them actually. Yeah. Over here in our world, we do not use one single monitor, do we, Kirk?
Nope.
Nah, we think it's lame.
Well, it's more productive to use multiple screens, I reckon.
Exactly. Like I was just explaining before a little while ago. Like there's a similar feature in Windows 10 that's like the workspace setup on GNOME. Okay. Oh, don't do that. I must tell you, man, you are really immature.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I can see your screen, man. Right monitor. I can see what you're writing in bloody LibreOffice, man.
Yeah.
I was just explaining before about LibreOffice being a really good alternative to Microsoft Office. Like, wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah. No, it's definitely a good alternative.
Like, you know, it's completely free. You don't require a registry key or anything like that.
No.
And the great thing about it is you can always find it on torrents, and you always download it full speed. You know, like I get about 500-600 kilobit a second downloading any kind of torrent with enough seeds.
Yeah.
And well,
I'm just
Yeah.
adjusting volume
I
up.
don't understand. Like some people have. Yeah, super tux. I've always wondered if I'm pretty sure you can get that on Windows, eh?
Oh, I don't know. Actually, what I'm going to do is...
Just, do you think you can keep that screen up for a second?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, Super Tux. For anyone who's watching and doesn't know what Super Tux is, it is like it's like a knockoff of Super Mario, isn't it? You know, you can get it easily enough on Linux. I've played it before. I think I've even conquered it once too. You know, there's even an Android port of it, but I don't recommend downloading it on Android because it just doesn't run too well. It's designed for a computer, isn't it? I didn't think this was a gaming channel.
Not at all, but you got to make it a little bit interesting.
Why not? Well, I had a bit of fun. I just like on my desktop computer, because I'm using all this AMD software and hardware. I've downloaded all the drivers for for AMD. It even came with a CD with all the drivers, and I've made an ISO of my driver's CD and uploaded it to Google Drive because you never know when you're going to need it, you know. Right?
Yeah.
Like I've always stated to always back up your data, but the most neglected thing is your drivers. You know, like if your manufacturer, like for your motherboard, for example, sends you a CD with your drivers, I recommend that get yourself some software that can get yourself some software that can actually make an ISO. Yes, we know Linux is the best for drivers. I was having a rant about the drivers before, man.
Oh.
Yeah. By the way, man, your sound is really bad. You think you could just turn yours down just a little bit?
Was that?
Yeah, your sound's coming.
What I'm
Sound's
going
coming in a bit patchy, man.
Wait, was that?
Your sound is coming in a bit patchy.
Okay. I'm just
Yeah.
using this onboard microphone of the laptop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got a bit of feedback there, man.
What I might try. Is this better?
We'll test it out then, won't we?
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay, I've just turned the microphone volume down.
Now we can still hear you loud and clear.
That's good.
But you know, compared to Windows 10, like you personally have not used it, have you?
No, not really, and I don't really see a point in using it.
Nah. Well, like I've been using it for about 4 days now, and like I had a bit of a hiccup first with the crack. You know, just installing it. Installing it is a breeze. Okay, it operates nice, but the bloody what you call it, that crack that you use, it comes with it, man. Like, you know, it's not designed to be used like that, but you know, there are some dedicated people out there that will provide proprietary software for free, pirates, you know, and well, there's many of them, but I don't think any of them are watching. But if any of them are, I've just got to say thanks, you know, for the wonderful work that they do, you know, because without these dedicated people, you know, we wouldn't be using the software that we're using right now, you know. And you've also got to give thanks too to the people who provide the source code towards Linux too, don't we?
And that's the one, because where would you be without open source?
Exactly. Where would we be without community spirit, my friend? You know, it's like, you know, we all do our little part to help. Like, I don't know much code, you know, but I'm happy. Yeah, you know, we're both bloody practically useless with code, and well, you know, you can always help out by testing out something and providing feedback on it, you know. So that's the easiest way you can help without knowing any code, you know.
Exactly right, eh?
Well, true. But what I want to do now is I want to recommend an antivirus, okay? Because my Windows 7 machine cracked out. Just this afternoon, actually, it cracked out on me because of installing a dodgy crack for the registry. It was working perfectly before, then I started getting these weird threatening messages saying that they're going to disable it because it's not registered. You know? But you've always got to be careful with crackware, as I like to call it.
Yeah, Windows has got a lot of that.
No, not Windows. It's susceptible to crapware. Yeah.
Still crap.
What, Windows?
That's all right.
Oh, come on. Let's be honest. We have all grown up with a Windows computer, haven't we?
Yes, we have, with the Monopoly.
Well, it's not the Monopoly. It's just, well, it could be. You know, it's just what everyone has used. Like,
well, tell me the main reason why you've grown up with Windows is what's on the computers by default. You go to
Windows.
Harvey Norman's, it's Windows. Why do you think that is?
You get 99% of computers have Windows installed by default. That's just how it is. But you know, go back to the late 90s, early noughties, right? You know, I remember when I was about maybe, I'd say about 7 or 8 years old. Okay, when my grandfather was alive, he used to play the old school solitaire on Windows 98. You know, and I remember he sat me up on his knee and he taught me how to send an email, and I'd never used a computer before, and he taught me how to send an email to my uncle using what's it called, Microsoft Outlook. You know, like those were the days, weren't they, man? You know.
Yeah.
See, my grandfather, he wasn't the most coherent with a computer. He could send a couple of emails and play solitaire. That's all he used it for, really. You know? And all this was done with an old 56K dial-up modem. You know? Like, can you believe how far we've come in, like, 15 years, man? You know? And we used to have dial-up. We used to have floppy disks, you know?
Well,
and back in the day, you used to be excited when you got an email. But nowadays, most email you get is just crap.
pretty much, but also to mention, look how fast mobile technology has come across. Like 10 years. Holy shit! Phones have changed.
Yeah, of course.
And it's not just saying that it's changed the functionality. Like they do the exact same thing. Now you can actually touch. You know, use your fingers to point and basically touch phones.
Yeah, of course. Like we've come a long way, man. Like, you know, one of the first smartphones was most likely a Nokia. You know, and you know that was with the resistive touchscreen. You know, which a lot of people wouldn't know what the difference between a resistive and captive touchscreen is. You know, like the common test you can do is you get something like a pen, just a normal ballpoint pen, and you place it against your screen and try and you put a ballpoint pen against your phone's screen and see if it registers touch, you know, and then you'll know it's resistive, and you can have a little bit of water on the screen and it still wouldn't mess it up, you know? Isn't that right?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
hey,
But, yeah,
have you ever used DOSBox?
DOSBox, I actually did use it once, actually.
Nice.
Don't you remember that?
Well, did you even use it successfully? I can't remember.
Yeah, I did, actually. You know?
It's a pretty fun application to play around with.
Well,
What's your view on DOSBox? Just,
well, at first, it was a pain in the ass to configure, particularly with Linux, you know.
not really.
Well, you know, I did a bit of Googling later because I've seen all these videos where you had to type in all this weird crap in the terminal, you know, to get your game going. And I got so fucking frustrated with that and eventually gave up on it for a few months. And then I just suddenly downloaded it again because I wanted to play Warcraft or something on it, the original Warcraft.
Yeah.
And I figured out you could just drag the file or the folder onto the emulator to actually get it going. You didn't have to type anything in, you know? You could practically just half-ass it, you know, and it would work. You know? But don't you remember that time? I think I was a little bit drunk too. I actually donated like $1 to them. Do you remember that?
I'm curious. I wonder if we can. Yeah, probably not. No, that's all right.
Still, I don't really have any use for DOSBox anymore because although some of the DOS games are good, I've sort of lost interest in them. They're all, you know, they're obsolete for a reason. You know? But maybe I should. Like, you know, our friend Lenny, he actually got me onto the Super Nintendo emulators. And I ordered that that SNES controller on eBay. Like, there was this racing game, I think it was called Toko Race Car Driver or something, and I was playing that with a SNES controller. You know, just driving around the racetrack with it. You know, I've still got it somewhere. It's probably in my box behind me there. You know, just a standard USB controller, not like a real actual SNES controller, because that'll probably cost you $50 or something. You know, the original controller. You know, but well, for gaming now, I just use the Xbox 360 controller. It's, you know, you just install the drivers and the software for it, and away you go. You know? It's probably like I've always had a preference towards like PlayStation 2 and 3 controllers. But, well, I don't know. There's more support for the Xbox 360 controller because it is a Microsoft product, you know?
Yeah.
But that's the thing, you know? Like, I originally had doubts about it because I thought that, oh, this is not going to work. It's probably going to be full of bugs and all that sort of shit. But, no, it works perfectly. And it's actually compatible with a lot of games on Steam.
Mm.
So, now, I was wondering, Kirk, although you use Linux primarily,
Mm.
okay, I'm just curious, would you be able to recommend an antivirus program?
Well, obviously, because I don't need to use any sort of antiviruses, because just the infrastructure of Linux in general is a lot more securely.
Oh, of course. You know, but there are viruses for Linux, but they're very rare.
But the thing is, the difference between Windows and Linux, Windows has a tendency to take rights away, where Linux, as a default, tends to give rights rather than take them away.
Yeah.
It's like between a blacklist and a whitelist. Yes, Windows basically relies on a blacklist where you block certain sites or whatever. Where Linux is sort of like whitelist, which you allow the sites that you go on. Thus blocking everything else.
Exactly, man. You know? That's the way of the world, isn't it, man? It's just a big ass monopoly.
Yeah.
You know?
So, but the thing is, the viruses that are on Linux is they don't do much. The worst that they can really do is trash the user file.
Well, I guess that would be in the most extreme circumstances because, like, I've actually had one very strange virus on Linux where it screwed up my web browser. You know, it would just constantly open like 100 blank tabs. Okay?
Yeah,
that
but
I don't know if it was a virus or even a bug, you know? You get more bugs and viruses in Linux, you know?
well, the thing is, normally, if you don't give them root access, they can just like a roll.
Oh, of course. Well, you would be stupid to open up your web browser as root anyway.
Yeah.
You know? Like, you got to be practically brain dead to do that. Like, you should only run your computer as root in the terminal for just installing shit or moving or deleting crap that you need higher permissions for, you know? You don't want to give the outside world root access to your computer. Otherwise, you're going to be in a world of bloody trouble. You know? But what I want to do is I just want to move back to the antivirus.
But
okay.
In all honesty, AVG I'd probably prefer.
AVG? Yeah.
It
can be a pain in the ass.
But it works.
Very true. Like, AVG has been the antivirus of choice by many people because a lot of people know how to use it. Okay? But you got to take into consideration a few other things. Like, it's not just viruses that can screw with your computer; it's spyware as well. You know, and recently there's been browser hijackers and things that fuck with your registry. Okay, so we'll go into Google. Okay, well, I always recommend if you're a bit careless with web browsing, like I can be sometimes, just download a copy of AVG free, okay? Because it will tag anything that's malicious when you're browsing the web, okay? But it's also a pain in the ass for files on your computer too, because you can download something from the internet that's not necessarily a virus but acts like it, like a key generator, for example. Isn't that right?
I also want to have you know how I was telling you about privacy a while ago, just before,
Mm-hmm.
talking about Badger.
About what? Sorry, Badger.
Badger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna. Okay. Can you? Oh, what am I doing? Okay. Now, if you look on one of my screens,
Your screen. Let me just
private. Can you see?
Privacy Badger. Yes.
Now,
Left monitor. Yep.
this is, as I said before, I was listening to a podcast by Defensive Security, and they recommend using Privacy Badger. The idea of it is so any sites that are trying to track you, it will block the third-party domains.
Yeah. My personal experience with like I know where you're going with this, but there's a lot of like websites by default will have a little bit of data stored on your computer. Okay, it's not a problem.
Oh yeah,
it's usually cookies and
cookies.
Like I forgot what the other kind. It's like metadata that they just use for advertising reasons, you know.
Now,
like
yes,
I'll give you one strange example, right? Okay, with Facebook, you know how Facebook is a massive data mine. Okay, it honestly is a massive data mine. Before I proceed any further, I'm just going to turn my quality down because right now I'm actually downloading AVG.
What I was actually going to say with this Privacy Badger, if you can actually this policy form on your websites, basically saying that you're only using the data for numbers, anonymous data. Rather than tracking who you are, where you're shopping, and all the bullshit that comes with it. So you can still advertise, but really, this is about how can I put it? Not advertising information that you don't really want anyone to know.
Yeah, true. Like, do you want me to tell you a bit of a horror story about that?
You can if you want.
Okay, I was reading this article about a kid who had been kicked out of home. All right, this would probably hit home to a few people, but there was a kid who was looking up like cruises, like holidays. Okay, and somehow, somewhere in the process, he wasn't actually this way inclined, but it actually showed advertisements for like gay and nudist cruises and all that sort of stuff. And he was browsing just on Google, for example, and had his Facebook logged in at the same time. Now, Facebook has known privacy flaws, and when you're browsing the web, Facebook has been known to steal the advertising data from your web browser and show it on your Facebook. So his parents came along and got onto his computer and looked at his Facebook, and it showed these ads for like gay cruises and all that sort of stuff. And these people were like, you know, dedicated Christian believers, and thought that his son was actually gay when in fact it was just a misinterpretation of the advertising that they saw in his Facebook. You know? And I've actually noticed it as well. It happens to me. Now I don't get those sort of ads, thank God. Okay. But just recently I was looking on Google just for the hell of it, a voice over IP program for my computer. Okay, just to see if I could do it. It was called like FreeCX or something, right? I downloaded it, but I didn't install it. All right. So Facebook has obviously gotten my like my search history on Google from that, and showed me advertisements for FreeCX too. Like, how creepy is that, man?
Very.
You know, it just goes to show, like, you know, anyone can get any sort of data from you, and you don't even realize it. You know.
Oh yeah, sure.
Although people don't generally do this, but it is usually a good idea to, well, you think about it, it can be useful, but it can be scary at the same time, you know? Like, let's say you're looking up car parts, for example, on Google, all right? And then you just happen to pop on Facebook. You know, you might get ads for local, you know, car dealers and panel beaters around your area, which could be useful, you know. It's how advertising works. They make a shitload of money with advertisements like that, you know. But it can be useful, but it can also be creepy as well.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that there.
Like, I've noticed it before. You know, when I bought my phone, okay?
Yeah.
I've got absolutely no idea how this happened. But when I bought my phone, my HTC, okay, I started receiving ads on Facebook for HTC and also to buy the iPhone as well.
Yeah.
So somehow, mysteriously, they worked out that, hey, this guy's just bought a HTC. All right, why don't we try and convince him to buy an iPhone? But I've also noticed something else. I do believe that, well, I know Google, obviously, because the two are connected, your email and Google together. Like, Google is quite intelligent, actually. Like, I received an email from someone about a week ago for an appointment, right? And on the day of the appointment, I actually got an email from Google stating that, hey, you've got an appointment at XYZ. You know? Which, even though that this person did not invite me through, like, Google Calendar or anything, they just sent me a normal email.
Well,
you know?
that's the thing. With certain data sharing, it can be... It's very controversial because some data is actually good. Like, I was also listening to the security podcast. Actually, no. Sorry, one of the podcasts where he was going on about saying that every Sunday. Now you're thinking, what's that going to do with data? Now, he moved away and find another donut shop because it was the only time the family and friends, and you like donuts. All the other donut places that there was tasted like shit.
Okay.
Now, eventually, this donut place got well known because it was very good donuts. And he was being curious, saying, well, most users have either an iPhone or an Android phone.
Yeah, of course.
So he was thinking, what if I actually had the capability to ask Google, how busy is the donut shop today? And how fast are they getting their donuts? And it's public information, like we're advertising through our phones. The MAC address of every phone has a MAC address. So,
Of course.
with the
The free
data,
Wi-Fi in a lot of places picks that up too.
yeah, with that sort of data, they can figure out how long that person has been there,
Yeah, exactly.
and when they leave.
Yeah, true.
But as I said, with data, it's very controversial because companies will say, "Oh, we will protect your data today,"
Yeah,
but what's going to happen in 10 years from now?
of course. It's all a big lie. They're going to use it for something.
Yeah, but then again, at the same token, if it's public information that you can find out, say, through driving around in a car with a camera, what's the difference between that and this sort of information that we're broadcasting? It's like every time. Do you remember that scandal that Google got in trouble for going war driving and scanning all the Wi-Fi devices?
Yeah, I remember that very well too.
Well, that sort of information has already been broadcast.
Yeah.
That information is publicly broadcast.
Well, it's like taking photographs in public, you know. Like, but it's also another thing. Like, it's one of those things that are a bit hard to debate. Like, for instance, it's like take a Wi-Fi of someone's house that doesn't have a password. Okay, there's two different views to it. Like, I used to do it when I was younger, when I was living back in Ningyi, you know. I used to go around with the laptop. I don't even know if I had an Alpha card back then, you know. But I remember I found this house just by war driving with my laptop that had no password on their Wi-Fi. All right. Now you got to think to yourself, what's the moral behind using a Wi-Fi of someone's house that doesn't have a password? Is it like drinking from a public water fountain, or is it like walking into someone's house because the door's unlocked? You know, it's one of those things that is quite hard to debate whether it's right or wrong. You know, but at the end of the day, it should be quite easily noted that if you're going to do something like that, like set up a wireless network, that you should have security in place to prevent that from happening. Because I could just go up there and download willy-nilly what I want and use up all their bandwidth, you know? All right? And there's nothing they can do about it until they put some sort of security on their network. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
You know? Like, you know, eventually they did. I don't know what happened, if the Wi-Fi went down or it was secured, but I missed out on it. Like, I found a couple around my old home.
The good old days of
Good old days when I had that brick Acer laptop, eh?
the days of black track.
Backtrack, yeah. You know, I still can't believe I was able to hack into the work group of the local IGA. You know, like you would think with a business like that, they would have hired someone to put that in, okay? But they didn't do too well on security because everyone knows that, well, a lot of people don't actually know this, but anyone who's got half a brain cell on them knows that, well, WEP is piss easy to crack. You know, I cracked the IGA password in about 14 minutes using what was it? Aircrack or something? No, it wasn't Aircrack. I don't quite remember actually what I used. You know, it's just one of those Wi-Fi cracking programs that you could easily get on Backtrack. You know, with the Alpha card, and I was sitting there in plain view with a laptop, okay, and I was running. Once I hacked into the network, I realized that there was no internet access, but that could have been because of like just sending and receiving data from the cash registers, you know?
No, you know what I reckon it would have been?
What?
I reckon it would have been the security camera setup.
Maybe. Like, I don't know. I wonder if businesses like that use IP cameras.
They do. A lot of them do.
Like, honestly, I wish I knew about that beforehand because I could have possibly bashed the IP addresses in and run a port scanner over it and to see if I could actually see the footage from inside the store.
Well, another thing to mention, like you can get simple programs on an Android phone or even the computer, which you do a port scan and it come up straight away.
Oh, exactly. Like, I've got a port scanner on my phone.
Camera, security port scan.
Yeah, cool. I've done that before.
And the interesting thing is, once you've actually, if you're on a local network, normally you don't necessarily need a password for the actual camera.
No, but if you do, it's usually like admin and password, isn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is, to actually access it via a port scan, to modify it, yeah, you need a password. But to actually view it, most times you just need to port scan it.
Yeah. I've just turned the quality up. I've installed AVG, but I've just disabled it for now because the first thing is when you install an antivirus program, it likes to update in the background, which can be a problem.
Antivirus? What's an antivirus?
Antivirus, just AVG.
I'm being a smart ass.
Yeah, true, because you don't use one.
Correct.
That's all right. You know, you've always been a Linux nerd. That's understandable.
Yeah.
And then again, so have I. Like, you know, I would only use an antivirus on Linux if I suspected that something is wrong.
Yeah. But mind you, since you've actually been using Linux, you've seen the advantages of it as well.
Yeah, true. Like, I honestly don't know why I'm using Windows 10 at the moment, but I do enjoy it. I like to test out new software. It's a little hobby of mine, you know? And I found something very strange, again with Windows 10 and Linux, is I was discussing it before that you couldn't actually dual boot Linux with Windows 10. I think it's. I bet it's some sort of security feature with Windows. but I'm not 100% sure.
Don't know.
But either way, you know, I honestly like it, and I haven't fully dedicated myself an end date to testing, but I said about 7 days, you know. So I started on 10th, okay. So on Monday, I'll write up a review on the Black Fox and see what people think, you know, because I've had a lot of people ask me what Windows 10 is like, you know, and if they should install it, you know. Completely up to them, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I'm forcing them to. What are you doing?
Huh?
Your audio is really bad, man.
It's just a cheap microphone. It's just a.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of getting myself a dedicated microphone for this sort of thing, you know. I don't have any. I don't have any manufacturers in mind, but well, I was thinking why not, you know. Because you remember that time we're sitting here prank calling people?
Oh, that was funny.
Oh yeah, piss off the Americans and the Canadians. Well, they couldn't hear us, but then again, I was using that microphone and the webcam, wasn't I?
Yeah, but you know, it'd be good to actually invest in a high quality microphone setup.
Well, I was thinking about that, you know. Like, it's not a problem, man. Like internal microphones, not too good, you know. You know. But I'm guessing like I'm going to try and find a microphone like similar to a studio mic that I'll just chuck up on a stand and put on my computer desk, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Might as well, right?
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
this
it's
is my
just,
old favourite game that I'm playing at the moment.
you do realise that your image is mirrored?
Yeah.
Playing that through DOSBox, are you?
Yep.
Fair enough. But this is strange. I actually have no idea how long I've been streaming for.
I don't know. You've been streaming for a while, at least a couple of hours.
Yeah, that's a record in itself, isn't it? But yeah, I was thinking I might as well. Let's see, 1749 was the first. Well, I've got a group chat on the side, and my friend Michael Wade is. I just asked him if he could quickly test the stream for me, and it seems working all right now. So yeah, I've been going for over an hour and a half, man. So it's not a bad effort, is it? But before I go out, I'm probably gonna head off soon. But quickly, well, we've got no one viewing at the moment, you know. But I'll quickly post up again the link to our little hangouts here, and I'll quickly showcase some useful browser add-ons. Okay.
Hey, you should really play this game. This is an old classical game, but it's still freaking good.
Yeah.
I'm in the wall.
Why not?
Hey, you know, next time we should write about all the old DOS games. So you've got the past, you've got the future.
Well, I can't see why not, man. I'm a multi. Sorry?
I
I'm
died.
a multi-platform sort of guy. No?
Get the zombie.
Why not, man? But, well, first up, I want to showcase, where did I put it? Power user pack. Some useful add-ons, like, you know, with Windows 10 or any Windows in general. Bloody great operating system, man, but it has a few security flaws. You know?
Yeah.
And one of them I've noticed, like, you get this on Linux as well, but scripts. Okay?
Yeah.
It is a pain in the ass, really.
Yeah.
But
It is.
I would also like to test out. Honestly, I know it's not your thing, man, but I would honestly urge you to at least try it out. You know.
One
Like,
day.
one day. Yeah, you should try this out one day, man. You know? Like, it's not going to be free forever.
No.
Only for the first year, and then you're probably going to pay about $160 for a freaking license, you know?
Should have thought about it before I jumped up there.
Yeah.
What other sort of games have you played in the past?
Well, I'm not a big gamer, man, but I personally would not play a game like what you're playing now. Okay, it's not my thing, you know.
Oh well, how often do you think I play games? Not that often.
Nah, of course not. But you know, like I've basically been playing the games that only a mid-range computer could play. You know, just like Need for Speed, that sort of stuff. You know.
I tend to play games that are even lower than that.
Yeah, true, but you'd be running through an emulator, so it would probably use the same sort of resources, you know?
You know, like
Maybe, I don't know.
you look at some of these old DOS games, and the storyline that they've got, like some of them are just shits and giggles, but they're not the best in graphics, but that's still bloody fun.
Yeah, true, it's like that Super Tux game, man.
Yeah.
But what was it, 1984, I believe the Super Mario Brothers was released?
Something like that.
I
Long time
think,
ago.
yeah, I think it was 1984, Super Mario. All right, and that was probably the best-selling game of its time. It was like the Grand Theft Auto of the 80s, man. You know? And, you know, and then we've got games that, you know, like Super Tux, for example, which is obviously a knockoff of it. You know,
Yeah.
but it's still fun to play. You know, but take the old PS2, for example. You know, that's probably, is, and it probably
But
is
that's-
still one of the best-selling
that's another-
consoles of all time. And
That's
the
another
games on
question.
it were great.
But the thing is, that is a question. What is more important, graphics or the storyline? And then you look at it and go, yes, you need the graphics, because you look at some of the old DOS games, like the freaking, some of the really old ones are just command line.
Oh yeah, text-based games, man. I've played one of them before. You know, you are entering a cave. You know,
And you got
you
multiple
come, you come at a
options.
crossroad. Would you like to turn left or would you like to turn right? You know, that sort of thing. You know,
The funny thing is, they can get you hooked sometimes.
yeah. Well, I used to play a text-based game on Android, similar to that, like an adventure game, and well, I didn't like it much, but somehow I was hooked on it, man. Yeah. I've got no freaking idea, man. But why not? You know, but take the PS2, for example, man. That was best-selling console of all time. It still is. You know, games on it, not that high in graphics, but you do need a machine with a decent amount of power to emulate them. You know, and you've got to set them up all right. But you know, once it gets going, it gets going. You know what I mean? Like I tried to run this game called Black. It lagged a bit, but it still worked. You know.
Yeah. You know, I remember playing this particular game when I was young. I actually got this game given by my grandfather. This particular version is on Abandonware, but I do the original somewhere from a floppy disk. Floppy disk. Yeah.
Oh, I remember those good old days, man. Like this was again on Windows 98. All right. There used to be this game I used to play in school called Gizmos and Gadgets.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I think it required like 6 floppy disks to actually install. You know, it came in this big ass box full of floppy disks. You know.
That is such an old, but they had multiple series as well.
Not that I know of. I couldn't find anything else.
Oh, they do.
I think it was more like a once-off sort of game.
No, they made other games. I remember having multiple of them. With the that guy sort of thing, he was like in a weird sort of jacket sort of thing. And then you got the crazy professor dude.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he's always trying to sabotage your plans, you know, to build your little contraptions and race them and stuff, you know. And you used to go around the little warehouse, you know, and pick up all the parts and assemble them.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, those were the days, man. You know, if I wasn't serving detention in school, I'd be playing that at lunchtime.
Hey, just do you ever use portable USB portable with the It was a Windows based. It had, oh, I can't even remember. It had small portable applications like Pen. Oh, I can't even remember. It had FileZilla. It had Pigeon as well. But it was
Yeah.
just some portable applications on a USB stick.
Really? Well, you get those sort of applications on, just installed by default in Linux.
Mm.
Like, it's sad that Linux Mint by default has Flash in it. Which is, I think, the only distro that actually does that.
Well, really, but the thing is, at the end of the day, like, Flash is used for a lot of things, but it's really a pile of shit.
Yeah, it's about time it fucking dies.
Put a bullet in it.
Like, I don't know. Like, I've got Flash on here now. Okay, and after I've done this, I'm thinking of just uninstalling the goddamn thing. Right? Because, well, like I said, it's a pile of shit. It needs to die. Okay, it has it's been partially been replaced by Microsoft's Silverlight. Okay, now I've used it. I've not noticed. I've not really used Silverlight on anything. Okay, but the most common application for Flash is YouTube. Okay, but if you've noticed already that YouTube, if it detects that Flash is not installed or it's been blocked, it'll use the HTML5 player, and I think that's better than Flash. Like, I remember you saying that HTML5 uses more resources than Flash. Well, I don't notice any difference. It works brilliantly.
Oh yeah, well the thing is, HTML5 has improved over the last few years.
Yep.
Which is good because it's needed to, because there needed to be a replacement for Flash.
True. I think versions, I think it's either 39 or 40 of Firefox, they're automatically blocking Flash. Okay.
Yeah.
And for anyone else who's listening into this, you don't need to connect if your browser has blocked Flash, because if you're using it for YouTube, YouTube has a HTML5 player. It looks a bit different, and it functions the same. It still works, and it's a lot better and a lot more secure than Flash.
Well, yeah. Well, and another thing that's also terrible is Java as well. Flash and Java can go to hell.
Java.
Java.
I don't think it's as bad as Flash, man.
No, but it's well known for its security flaws.
Yeah, true. Well, I've actually not used Java much, to be honest.
No.
Like, I think back in the days when I used to play RuneScape when I was younger, like young enough to lie about my age to sign up for it, you needed, I think it was Java or something similar,
Yeah.
And I used to actually try and play that on a dial-up connection, man. But it didn't work too well. But once you get up to 256k speeds
Anyway,
or
I'll
higher,
talk to you later, Rob. I'm getting a call for you.
yeah, all good, man. Will you take care, eh?
Alright, see you, mate.
See you around. Oh, there you go. There's good old Kirk for you. For those who are watching right now, Kirk is primarily a Linux user, you know, and I've personally been using Linux for about 2 years now. I quite enjoy it, you know. It's good if you've got like an old computer lying around that you want to fix up and just get running. But this here is supposed to be a freaking Windows 10 bloody podcast, stream, whatever, until he came along. However, you know, as we were discussing before with Firefox blocking Flash, I've noticed it too, both on Linux and Windows. And you've got nothing to worry about if your Flash is blocked. I would personally recommend uninstalling it because there's a lot of security flaws with it. You know, it uses a lot of resources, so it'll slow your computer down heaps, and it crashes quite a lot too. You know, and Adobe has been shitting bricks about the recent I don't know if it was actually Adobe, but there was a massive panic attack where they had to release urgent security patches for Flash to fix up hacking to do with like a certain font in Windows. Like hackers could basically manipulate your computer by sending you text in a certain font or something through Flash. And my personal recommendation is to pretty much fucking uninstall it, okay? Now, if you use YouTube, don't panic. You've got nothing to worry about. Yeah, YouTube is compatible with HTML5, which will play videos up to, what is it, 4K resolution it's up to now. Geez, it goes to show how far we're advancing in technology now, aren't we? But for those that are still watching, I would like to actually show you people how to uninstall Flash, you know, because, well, I don't think you really need it, you know. Like, I'll show you right now. Okay, well, I've got the icons here on my desktop. Okay, even though, okay, let's see here. Programs and features, uninstall a program. Okay, now you just go to Control Panel, all Control Panel items, and go Programs and Features. Or just simply search it up like I did. And let's see here. It's not actually on here, actually. Right. That's a bit odd. All right, well, I'll get back to that a bit later. But personally, you know, Flash, don't use it, really. If you want to stay safe and keep your computer running nice and smoothly and you're just watching YouTube videos, you can go to HTML. But I will show you just quickly how to enable HTML5 on YouTube if you have it, whether or not you have Flash or not. You just go to Google, okay, and type in YouTube HTML5. Okay. First result. There's also browser plugins that force it to go to HTML5, but well, currently I'm using it right now. But for those that are still currently using Flash, I highly recommend it. You know, It's fast. It's efficient. It's never crashed on me ever. You know, and it actually, although not officially supported, it actually works a lot better with dual monitors. Although you can't see it in this stream, I've actually got my laptop hooked up to my computer. I've got my laptop hooked up to my TV at the moment because I just like the view of it, you know. But right now, I just remembered. Okay, for those who are running Windows on the Adobe website, you just look up on Google uninstall Flash. There is, strangely enough, you actually go to their website and download an uninstaller. I shit you not, you know. I'll actually see if I can post the link to that. Okay, I'll actually post a link in the group chat. Copy link location. And let's see if Google will allow me to post links. Okay, there you go. If you have a look to the right of your screen, that blue text, that is the uninstall link for Flash. You just download the file and run it. Easy, you just save. And once it downloads, just run it. It's easy. There we go. Adobe Flash Player uninstalled successfully. Perfect. And although it doesn't say that you need to reboot your computer, I personally would recommend it just to clear the shit out of the cache. And yeah, there you go. Now, if you have any questions, comments, complaints, or bloody death threats or whatever, just let me know on the side. But otherwise, I think I'm going to call it a night. Okay? So I'd like to thank you all for watching and have a good night. Peace out.